Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Just wanted to speak on, man, as far as like the people that got children or even just got children around. You necessarily have to have children, just be around children. But something you can observe or something, next time um, just paying attention to your child or just reflecting, just thinking as far as their future and into. Children come into this world with their chakras open. So, like third eye, like they're very aware. Like children are very aware. And they're sensitive to energy. That's why they always say, they can say some honest things that might offend some adults, but deep down they know it's true. And that's why some people don't like children. And something I found, very interesting is that you can see what a child like will want to be. Like they are who they are. Like from without all the filters, the food, processed food. The negative vibes of the foundation. A lot of us come in with that energy anyway, you know what I'm saying? But it's just as far as knowing where we're supposed to be, knowing who we're supposed to be. Like, you can see it in the child. Some children be bossy, some children like playing piano, some children like playing drums, some like helping people, some like to dance. Like, you can see what they're here to do. Like talk shows, a lot of them are like little scientists. Like, like for instance, my daughter, like it's before I even got into the numerology and everything. Like my daughter, like she was like, man, I believe she was like in the second, third grade. She's like second, third grade, something like that. Like, and they had posters outside of the school on the walls, and all of the children were asking questions. They had all of the children ask questions that they wanted to ask, and this is a prime example about what I mean. But for instance, her question was, how did God get here first? And I'm looking at all the other children's questions, and they're asking like, why do bees like honey? And I mean, and don't get me wrong, like nothing is greater than the other one, but I'm just saying, as far as a child, I never heard adults even ask that. Like, but as a child, she asked, how did God get here first? And that's how I knew. I'm like, man, that's definitely my child. Like, very deep. And she's into like unicorns and things like that. Like young, like she was into just mystical things and just unconventional. And just her liking to sing and things like that, like before I even did her chart or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even like with me, for example, tell me stories about when I was little, and one of the ones that stick out to me was the fact that she always said I was wise, I was ahead of my time. They called me old man and things like that. And she mentioned a time where we got on the elevator and I walked up to a lady and I said, and the lady bust out crying. And she like, thank you, I needed that. Like she said, I'm young, 4 or 5 or something, like, and this lady crying, like, and just things like that. And even down the line, like, even when I had got a Facebook page or whatnot, like, you know what I mean, even with my background of what I've been through, and you know what I'm saying, people I've been around, just coming from where I come from, like, you know, and we all come from different circumstances, like, you know, just to see my background and where I come from, and just see my mindset, like, it's no mistake, like, coming from the environment that I came out of. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was on, everybody on that hood shit, like, but I was always smarter than the normal. Like, I was just into different things. Like, I was always myself. I never was falling into the trends and things like that. Like, my mind was just always on different things. But back to the Facebook. As far as the Facebook, like, when I first really got on there, like, it was so negative to me. Like, and that's a reflection of, you know, me. You know what I'm saying? Our friends and stuff on these social media sites ain't nothing but reflections of us. Even the family members, everybody, because you don't have to keep them. You don't have to keep them as friends on your page. We choose to. So it's all a reflection of us. But at that time, you know, I chose to, and I wasn't even thinking like that. It was just something in me that made me want to change my name, like, and just change it to something that gave people inspiration, like, every time they see it, like, something that give them inspiration, like. And with that, like, a lot of people was like reaching out to me, man, just, you know what I mean, just appreciating what I was, you know, putting out there. And just everything I do, like, I can't run from who I am. Like, it's like I always come to a certain point, like, because that's my path. But even with that, like, you know what I'm saying, when I look back at all these things, like I said, you can tell what the child is here to do from the start. And just even now, and another thing too, just as far as a lot of people would come to me, like, in the midst of, like, committing suicide, like, before they would commit suicide, like, people would talk to me about it or come to me, like, you know what I'm saying, I can count on both hands, like, it's been scenarios, like, where people would just reach out to me, like, and I'm like, why would they come to me when they about to commit suicide? Like, why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never really was looking at it at first like that. I would just be playing my role. Like, I never really looked. It was just natural to me. And they would always come to me, you know, for guidance or whatever, you know, but I never really looked at what I was really doing, you know, and until I really paid attention, I'm like, man, like, I can't run from this. So I just pretty much just took charge, like, you know, it's a reason why all these people are coming to me. It's something that I have, you know. And it was just funny when I look back from when I was younger or whatnot with my mom, and she just say that, and how I love music so much, like, young, like, and these are the things that I do now, like, amongst other things, but the main things I had passions for, like, and you know, that's, man, it's just deep, man, like, it's just deep, like, and even with my son, like, he just so, like, power driven, like, he knows what he wants to do, like, he's gonna be his own boss, like, I can see that now, like, just how he is, how he take control. Before even looked into his chart, anything, way before I would just observe and just, I would just get behind that, like, and that's what I mean, by our children know, and children in general, kids know what they want to be, and they know who they are, not what they want to be. They know who they are. They know exactly who they are. Cause being something that's some fake shit. Like, being is something that's get into character or something. Like, no, we come here knowing who we are. We are already who we are. Just like seeds getting coated with birth. Any, animal in the animal kingdom, they are, they're encoded with the color, the genetics of the, you're not seeing reptiles having lambs and lambs having goddamn pigs. Like, it's encoded with what they are, DNA, all of that. Like, no different from flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole diaphragm of the flower, like, it's all encoded. It's all mathematical. Like, it's all mathematical, man. But yeah, it's just deep, man. And another thing, that's how some parents pretty much throw their kids off. It's like we confuse the kids, because these children know who they are. We the ones that's confused on who they are. We try to make them like us, and that's where it don't work, because they're not supposed to be raised the way that we were raised. We're supposed to get behind them, observe, analyze, and get behind that, because God already had a purpose. The Creator already had a purpose. There was a purpose already, and we fucked that up by our broken systems that we adopted growing up. Broken communication, not expressing ourselves. Instead of like, what? Let me what do they like? Some people do that. Not, there's a lot of people that really suppress their kids. I hear them going off on their kids and saying, "Why you ain't doing that? You need to be like this. You need to do this. You gonna do this because I did." And like, it's really foolish, because then the kid grows up and have to unprogram themselves from all the bullshit that got thrown on them by society and you, and it's just a lot, man. So I feel for these kids, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm putting myself in these shoes. I know how it was when I was growing up, you know what I mean? Like, it was like I couldn't be myself at certain times, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it be like that. So that's why we have to be more aware as parents and know their life. They already know who they are. We the ones that need to figure that shit out. They know exactly who they is. These damn parents don't even know who they is. But they'll tell you. If you pay attention, they'll tell you who your ass is. These kids will tell you who you is. Real shit. So before all these titles and shit come into play, fuck a title. You ain't no title. A title can't embody what you are. Your body can't even embody what you is. You bigger than all this shit. You connected to something that's way much bigger than you and everybody around you. So that's something to keep in mind. Because a lot of this depression and stuff comes from that. Like, children can't be themselves. That's what I'm realizing. Like, we're doing it, you know what I'm saying? When you look at the numbers, you look at everything, it's like, damn, like, people been getting suppressed. They can't be themselves. Like, you already who you are. The vision is just cloudy. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but this was on me to put this out there, man. It's just something, very interesting to me, how everything is divine. It's divine. Our perceptions have to get taken out of the equation. Our perceptions alter that truth that they are here already, you know what I'm saying, in sync with who they are. Like, very, very, very aware. It be us with our goddamn vision fucked up, trying to impose bullshit. So, just something to think about, man. I'm out. Y'all leave some comments, man. I appreciate all the love. You know, I'm about to start getting into these numerology videos too, a lot more. And appreciate everybody getting the numerology charts, man. Back at it. So, holla at y'all in a minute, man. Much love.